going to say is that, right, day one, Rascal Jesters actually had the Poppy jungle and they ended up winning. Day 11, Softbank Honks had Poppy jungle and they ended up winning. So maybe, just maybe the Poppy jungle, maybe that inflates the win rate a little bit. Who knows?
Hey, possible. And Blank as well. This is Blank's most played champion in the regular season here. His Poppy is an absolute menace. It's not like she got nerfed or anything either. So she's really, really strong. And I like the combo specifically with Sivir because Sivir, even on patch, 12.15, is still the highest damage AD carry come the late game here. And the whole thing about Sivir is that you need to kill her before she kills everybody on the team. Poppy is one of the best champions at effectively bodyguarding, creating that frontline space here. So Poppy Sivir combo, really, really strong for the side of Hawks. Even if you've got an infinitely scaling Vigar, you still might not be able to actually reach the Sivir to pop her fast enough.
That's true. That's true. If you can't reach her, then it's all for naught. I hate to say it. But look at the runes. Anything standing out to you right now?
No, not really too much here. Fleet footwork for Ino, just to create that space. Maybe I look to win out the lane a little bit here. Not really. The thing I do like to see though is Predator Vigar here. I do think that's the best rune for him, especially for recap here to help Hacha Micha out. We've seen Hacha Micha try and be aggressive a little bit more in the early game. Look for those lane ganks and whatnot. And I feel like getting a Predator on this Vigar will really help enable ganks on the side lane. I'd love to see recap, just kind of push out that mid lane, roam out with Hacha Micha, get Soul ahead. Because we said it before, Soul and Secret, they're the big carries for this Rascal Jester team.
Yeah, always the one we're looking towards to make things happen. If they do get ahead, things are looking bright for Rascal Jesters. If they don't, not so much. And now even the Blitzcrank bot, giving Rascal Jesters a fair chance there. Actually, he's got some faith in him.
Yeah, interesting. Usually, I feel like Blitzcrank just kind of looks at scaling and just goes, "Oh, whichever team has better scaling wins." But it's given the odds to Rascal Jester at 51% for winning. But they've also kind of given
Twitter says something completely different. Okay,
I'll say this: Twitter's been a better analyst than Blitz. So you know what? Faith in that. But Hacha Micha looking into the mid lane.
I like to see this though. Event Horizon getting dropped. Hacha Micha in this mid lane with the pillar as well. They're gonna try and find something. Blank is here with the counter gank, and things are not looking good all of a sudden. Oh no! First blood goes into the hands of Blank. They try to make something happen. It comes back to bite them.
You know what? Maybe there is something to your superstition,
dude. It's the Poppy.
Yeah, the Poppy tip. It's real, man. Bot side Secret taking a lot of damage, and one thing to remember with Alistar as well is Alistar isn't actually tanky until you're level 6, and then you get Unbreakable Will. But before that, you're really squishy for a tank support, so you will eat a lot of damage in these trades. You have to be wary of that. Now, the mid lane first gank. Trundle, Vigar. You're seeing the sheer amount of CC they can put out here. And if it was just Dasher on his own, he's in trouble. But because you've got to take in consideration the support, the junglers, supporting the mid lane, that's when things change up. In fact, I was actually surprised Blank didn't just charge Hacha Micha into his own pillar there, because that could have just stunned him, would have been a lot faster. I assume it was on cooldown potentially from Blank here, but that's one of the things you have to be aware of when you're picking that Poppy that Trundle early. Sure, you can subjugate and steal away tank stats, but Poppy can also mess you up in the early game.
Yeah, and this is also, I feel, just really commonplace out here for the Hawks. They love that mid jungle synergy, like to utilize as much as possible. We see it there, and what better way to do it than just right off the bat get them started. We see the dredge line landing actually, but maybe not gonna find too much. A little bit of damage coming out though with that stun coming out from Marina. And so overall recap already half HP back in lane, gonna have to pop one of those pods.
Yeah, and recap just TP'd back in. Keep in mind they had vision on Rhina here, and recap opted to stay in mid lane and kind of just pressure a little bit here, saying, okay, you know what, I'm fine. No, you're not fine, recap. Sure, you've got flash here, but if Blank rolls around later at half health and a Zir and a Poppy can absolutely burst you.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see the roam coming in through from Hacha Micha on his way down bot side? First drag is going to be live now. We're already seeing some pings coming out. Curious to see if they look to pivot around here as Soul and Secret both making the way on over. They are going to get spotted out, though, it seems, and so not going to get anything out of it. Just going to head back on down.
Yeah, slight difference in support roaming efficacy there between Secret and Rhina. Rhina gets that pressure down onto recap. Secret can't find Diddley Squat, and it's just kind of walking back down to lane. They don't lose anything for the roam, though. It's not as if Rhina and Marble were particularly hard pushing, and I suspect we're not going to get to see that early jungle pressure here echo as much as we'd like to. Topside, I know taking a lot of damage
Yeah,
here.
Kinatsu doing work with that Darkened Blade, but the range coming out from Aino here is going to allow him to equalize the trades ever so slightly. Regardless, though, Aino definitely needs to be careful with Kinatsu hitting that
Wow.
level 6 as well. As we see Blank starting up that drag pretty early. Nice to see. A nice little difference here from the VCS, where I swear they did not do drags at all when I was over there. I was like, wow, it's been like 20 minutes and the first drag is still up. So this is nice to see. This gives me hope in the world.
The difference in priorities in the VCS, it's all about kills, it's all about blood, and you know what? I don't hate that, and I'm actually really surprised that Hawks are getting this dragon for free here. Rascal Jesters, they actually saw the rotate out of lane. They saw Rhino walking up, and they saw Blank walking down. That pink that Blank is clearing now spotted all of that. Hachimecha was in the area, and even if you can't take the dragon as Rascal Jesters, you can actually stop the take and kind of contest it a little bit here. I guess they kind of decided, you know what, Soul Secret, they just didn't have the prio. We'll give this one for free. And if you're going to give that dragon for free, then generally we see it being matched by pressure on the top side, either a gank or the Herald take. It's a little bit early for Herald. Let's see if Hachimecha can actually get anything done in the top lane, because Kinatsu has been pushing rather aggressively up here.
Yep, indeed. He has constantly looking for some kind of engagement here on Aino, looking to get him as low as possible. Not quite finding that Aino just able to bounce his way out of anything that comes his way. But regardless, right now, maybe he's going to slowly but surely be moving back into this middle of the wave here. But Hachimecha, looking that maybe he's pivoting to that mid lane again, is grabbing himself the Raptors at the moment. We see Blank as well in this top side. So it's only a matter of time. Going to have to make a choice sooner or later as to what they want to do.
Yeah, and I'm getting a bit worried for Rascal Jesters, because generally, first of all, we said that at 15 minutes, they need to find themselves a lead. Secondly, they tend to go as Hachimecha goes. If Hachimecha finds an early lead, they do well. If Hachimecha can't find anything, they just kind of sit back and skill, or fail to scale, and just kind of slide into oblivion. Hachimecha now trying to make something happen mid, and we talked about the CC that can come through from the Trundle, from the Vygar here, but Recap wasn't quite in position to really follow up bot side.
Yeah, bot side, a little bit of training going down here, though. Nothing really too crazy, though. Soul getting some shots in, but they are at a turret at the moment, so they're not going to find anything. Meanwhile, if you're looking on your map, though, Blank is up in that top jungle, actually stealing away that red buff. It's looking to me like they're looking to make something happen here on Aino, who's about to run out of Mega Gnar mode, and so maybe they look to get themselves a kill here. But no, just going to opt to go for the Rift Herald instead. They know that Hachimecha wasn't making his way down, so they're going to look to grab that for free, and Aino needs to jump away once again. Kinatsu trying to stay on his tails here. Aino, you got to be careful, brother.
Yeah, I didn't think they could actually dive Ino as the two of them. I feel like Gnar is kind of slippery, and he does have flash up and available. But I might change my mind after watching Kinatsu just lay down the pain onto Ino here.
He's laying down a whole lot more pain.
It's solo.
Flash from Ino. He's looking at dodge, but it does not matter. Down he goes, and Kinatsu just flies on out of there, delivering the pain. You spoke too soon, RMC.
Yeah, this is why I changed my mind. Kinatsu just did that solo here. Black was like, okay, you got that, I got Herald. We do this, separately. And my goodness, the Hawks, I was just thinking, okay, it's kind of close. It's going to be kind of quiet. They're just both going to look to scale. But the Hawks have found themselves a significant lead. And we have a graphic with some interesting stats between these two teams. This replay, it's just gratuitous, man. We saw it the first time. Like, Kinatsu just walked under. He got the early chunk. He gets to walk out. Doesn't even burn flash, by the way. So they can just re-pull this dive. But yes, there's the stats I was talking about. Thank you, Dan, here. Yeah, so the fact that in the first place, Rascal Jester struggle to find themselves ahead at 15 minutes here. They're usually down. And this is across the entire regular season and playoffs, right? And we said before, Hawks have a 100% win rate here. They are now on average ahead 444 gold. They're up over 1,000 gold at 10 minutes. And I expect that to snowball. Herald hasn't even been dropped yet.
Yeah, Blank on his way on over once again finds himself in Rascal Jester's jungle here. They're just getting less and less scared at this point. They're just going in there. Meanwhile, on the ball lane, a little bit. Trace coming through here. Secret just taking up what he can. Soul doing probably the amount of damage you're actually onto Ryan here, getting those shots in, but once again, not quite gonna find anything just yet, and the clock is ticking. We're 10 minutes in, and the Hawks almost 2k gold up. They're 2 kills up as well, haven't even dropped that Herald like you said, so that's gonna be a huge influx of gold coming through as well, as Blank still hasn't made his decision where he wants to drop that. Hachimecha though looking like he's making the decision of trying to find something here to get on top of Blank, but I don't know if he finds it or not. Smite coming out, the event horizon, and so it's not going to be anything at the end of the day.
That phase rush coming in clutch for Black there.
Yeah.
Not for that phase rush, I think you do get locked into the baby cage. And then, yeah, Burnable, we touched on the fact that, hey, you can pick the Trundle, and the Subjugate's really going to help you win out those trades against tanks. We're past level 6 now, so Hachimecha can actually start to dual blank, and we're seeing that confidence come through. And I want to highlight, too, Hachimecha's down a level and doing that to blank here. So now Rascal Jester is that mid. They've got the potential to kill, but that's only in the mid lane. Bot lane, they're winning as well, but still not much kill threat. And topside's where I'm getting worried. I know is getting bullied between turrets right now.
I mean, I wouldn't even call it bullied at this point. I don't even know what to call it. It's just like it's a massacre. World Ender gets dropped. Darkened Blade gets dropped right onto Ino's head. Down he goes. The TP coming through though. Secret and away he goes flying. Recap trying to find something here. Oh, that is huge. Damage coming out for the Primordial Burst is going to go ahead and seal Kinatsu's fate. At the very least, he'll pick himself that up. But Dasher, meanwhile, just chilling in this mid lane, grabbing these plates and looking to grab himself this turret.
And if we think back to the way this play started as well, Echo Herald got dropped into the mid lane. So Dasher gets so much pressure along with Blank here for the death of Kinatsu, and Kinatsu still found the kill. So it was just a 1-for-1. Rascal Jesters now trying to find anything else they can here, but I don't know what else they can find. There's no Primordial Burst, so Dasher should still be okay.
Yeah, the pillar knockup, but actually, I'm not too sure. Oh, huge Shurima shuffle right under the turret. Secret, you can tank all you want, but down he goes. You're not tanky enough. That was huge. The flash coming up from Dasher as well to save his life. And so they'll actually turn that into a positive situation and grab themselves yet another kill.
And you know what, Echo? Not even close. Dasher, all planned. That was, I didn't think they had the kill threat on Dasher. You had Hachimecha, you had Secret, and you had Recap with no Primordial Burst. Who's gonna kill Dasher? Sure, it kind of looks close, but frankly, that's even closer. That's more damage than I already expected coming through with your Vigar here. You've got a bit of burst damage, and that's about it. You don't have the sustained damage to finish him off now. Topside, we're going to keep seeing these trades happening between Ino and Kinatsu, and even in Mega Form, they're struggling a little bit to really find that action. And okay, on to Dasher. So you got Predator here. Again, I want to highlight the lack of damage. And what you have to keep in mind is Rhina is in the area here, and you know that Dasher still has ultimate. So Dasher could always have just pushed them away from the turret. That was always a possibility. The fact that he opts to go in and push them towards the turret instead, towards him in danger, is because he knows what he can handle. And he had the flash. He used it as well to disengage. So with all those tools there, Rascal Jester, you need to account for that. You can't be making these plays. And now suddenly Dasher 1-0-1, Blank 1-0-1. This top side of the map, which we said is the powerhouse of Hawks, is fully online and ready to carry the mid game.
Yeah, definitely. It really just speaks to Dasher's also the fact how much he trusts his teammates. He's like, listen, we got this. I'm gonna make this happen. They even get the exhaust out from Secret right onto him as well. And so overall, they come out just so many W's, honestly. And even like tops, I mean, like you said as well, that Eclipse on, like we saw the damage it was doing to Ino in that little trade. That like 2 Darkened Blade hits, just basically half health Ino in small form. And now Blank and the rest of the Hawks looking to grab themselves this second dragon here. Rascal Jester, if they have anything to say about it, they might try and stop this. Might be in a little bit late. The flash hook. How did that even connect? I don't know. The keeper's verdict gonna knock him away, and so down goes our first victim. Hachimecha gonna eat the dirt. So will the drag. Secret's gonna be next as well if he's not careful. Just barely escaping that one alive. Soul dishing out some shots, doing a bit of damage. And meanwhile, Kinatsu, he's just chilling in the mid lane. He's like, oh, nice little turret here, and he's actually gonna give it over to Dasher. You like to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Dasher is going to be that bigger carry for you rather than the Aatrox in the late game. And I want to highlight the items because you're talking about that, Echo, the fact that Kinatsu's got Eclipse. It's not just Kinatsu. Everybody in the Hawks but the support has their mythic. Rascal Jesters has an immortal shield bow. That's it. You should not be opting into that fight. I don't know what Rascal Jesters was thinking. At best, you get the Dragon Steel, but you're going to lose bodies at the end of it. Kinatsu did not return to the top lane here, and Secret's
Speaking of losing bodies, man, Secret's about to lose his, and down he goes. Blank just gives him the 1-2, and down he goes. That's another kill into Blank's pocket. 2-0-2. Kinatsu is 2-1-0. And we're not even 50. Well, okay, now we're literally at 15 minutes. The death clock has struck RMC. This isn't looking good, man.
4K gold deficit. I mean, we mentioned the fact that, you know, Hawks are up gold about 444. What we kind of didn't touch on was the gold deficit that Rascal Jesters often finds themselves at 50 minutes, pardon me here. And yes, sure, Hawks were down 2K in their winning series against Burning Core. Rascal Jesters were down more than 2K. I think it was up 2.7 in their series against CGA here. So yeah, Rascal Jesters in a bit of trouble. And now they've got to find a way back in. I think a lot of that will be coming from picking the right fights here. Wait for your power spike. Soul is still really, really strong. He's 0-0-0, which doesn't sound great, but that's his best scoreline on his team right now. And most importantly, he's still winning out the trades against Marble here. So Rascal Jesters aren't out of it. They just need to make sure they leverage their strengths properly, play towards Soul, make sure Soul's at these fights, and more importantly, make sure that your front line can live long enough for Soul to win these fights.
Yeah, because I feel like we saw it at that dragon fight as well, right? If you allow him to dish those shots out, or he still does a considerable amount of damage as well when he gets that dash in. The fact that the trio shot can also just straight up penetrate through multiple people as well allows you to dish out so much damage. But it's gonna have to wait for now, as we're gonna have to wait and see when they get into their next altercation. For now, all is quiet. The calm before the storm for now, RMC.
Yeah, Hawks taking a short break. You know, they already got the turret, they got the dragon. They're just waiting for objectives to come back up before they really, really look to fight anything. And for Rascal Jesters, this is good for them. You know, it gives them time here to skill up, get some farm onto Recap, get some farm onto Soul as well. The big problem still is I know he's bleeding out in this top lane,
and he's in a real bad spot too. He's gonna get shoved into the wall. I mean, it's abuse. Like, come on, you don't gotta do him like that. They just take him out. They take his turret. They're taking his lane. They're taking everything that isn't nailed down to the ground. Just kidding. Even when it's cemented in concrete like the turret, he doesn't even get to keep that.
No, and they rotated Kanatsu for the side of Hawks to the bot lane. Rascal Jester is like, okay, we'll put Recap down there. I know, you should be fine against Dasher, right? Right? Maybe. Maybe he could have held against Dasher. But it wasn't a 1v1. Blank was there. Now, Recap might have overstayed.
Yep, putting Kanatsu in the baby cage, but that's one angry baby looking to find the kill on Recap. Can't quite get him. Secret is there to use that parental guardian, sort of be that role, you know, that we need him to be, as we talked about, right? Mom and dad in the bot lane is going to go ahead and keep Recap safe, saving his life. And so, but it was dangerously close. I will admit that.
Yeah, and the flashes traded back and forth here. Baby cages are effective against babies, but if you've got the tools to get past them, you know, adults know how to use them. And Kanatsu, beautiful flash to just get right over that. That's kind of the weakness we're seeing here. Event Horizon's great as a team setup, but in an individual setup, not as good. And Herald just went down. Second Herald being used into this bot side to break it open. That's all the outers down for Rascal Jesters now. And that's going to make contesting these future objectives so difficult, Echo. Rascal Jesters are already slower to the turn. And Hawks, they're setting up vision now. Look at how they've set up bot side, multiple pink wards here. They're obviously just trying to deny vision. And Rascal Jesters walks in blind to this team. Good luck. Kanatsu could be in any bush here. And Rascal Jesters, even with their supposed tanks here, Secret, Aino, Hachamecha, you can't face check these bushes and hope to survive.
Yeah, you can really just take your pick. Which bush you think Kanatsu is going to be in today? And speaking of objectives, the next drag is going to be up in 16 seconds. If Hawks can grab themselves this one, that'll be their third dragon. They've been stacking it up, and then they'll be at Soul Point. Rascal Jesters know that they cannot let this happen, but they don't really have a lot of options. Everywhere they go, look, they're being spotted out by these wards that they have to clear first. And now Hawks are just waiting. Dasher is going to be pushing through this mid lane here. They're going to give them a choice. Do you stop Dasher or do you go for the drag? It's looking to me like they're going to opt for the drag. And Hawks are just going to let them start it up. They know they have the advantage. They're going to force Rascal Jester to push off. Dasher joining the fight as well. We're going to see our full team altercation here. Kanatsu, though, he's waiting. They don't know he's there, that he's behind the wall. Oh, he's getting closer and closer, dude. It's getting dangerous. Oh. They're about to go in.
Okay.
Secret, though, with the knockup. Rhino going to go ahead and go gold. Dragon is going to go down into the hands of Rascal Jesters, though. And they go ahead and run. They got what they wanted. Guerrilla warfare. It's time to run because the superior forces are on you. Secret going to go down. Hachamecha running for his life. The Happy Verdict, though, going to go ahead and knock him up. But Hachamecha just barely escaping that one alive. But Dasher is there to cut him off and take him down.
Oh, my goodness. Echo, that... It looked good for the Jesters for a moment there, but for the Hawks, I love what they did. Sure, they lose the dragon, but it was just bait. They're going to get so much more off the back end of it. They get that inner turret, which is worth more gold here, and it's just a single ocean. You can give that over. And for Rascal Jesters, this is the situation they find themselves in. I still think they made the right choice by doing what they did. What could you do? You can maybe defend the mid against Dasher, but if you give that up, that's Soul Point. This was about as good as they could get. They managed to get into the Dragon at all, considering the vision chokehold they had set up and that pillar from Hachimecha onto Blank. That was what made it possible, stopping the keeper's verdict. Everything after this was just kind of icing on the cake. Hachimecha correctly focuses down the Dragon there, gets the smite off, and they just try and hightail it out of there. The sad part is that Hachimecha still went down at the end of it. Secret did everything he could to buy time. All the carries get out. And this is the best case scenario from Rascal Jesters. The best case, where they lose 2 people and an inner turret for a Dragon.
Yeah, that's quite telling of how dire the situation is when that is the best case. But regardless, it's the small things, it's the little things in life, and it's that little victory there as well. Who knows? Maybe that gives Rascal Jester just an ounce of confidence to get back into this thing, because they have a long road ahead of them if they want to get back on top of this game. And a lot is stacked against them. The fact that you're going up against the team with 100% win rate when they are ahead at 15. The fact that you're going up against a team that has around a 6K gold lead over you. The fact you're going up against a team that has 2 drags to their name. They have 8 more kills. I could keep mentioning things, but then we'd be here by tomorrow. So I'm just going to stop.
Well, Echo, you did say it's the little things. Is that a short joke?
Okay. I'll give you that one. That was good. That was good. I'll give you that one.
You know what? Because to me, right now, when I'm looking at Rascal Gestures, I am looking at Vicar. That's the little thing that will have to carry the game for them. Yeah, we saw that last fight. The only one who actually did any damage was Recap. Unfortunately, Soul can't actually get in range right now to do the damage. Recap can still hop in and out. And right now, Recap with that baby cage right there, you can see that's the one thing they've kind of got going for them in terms of trying to find the picks here. And hey, if they can find Rhina, burst him out. One of the things to remember with Vigar is, sure, he is a burst champion, and sure, his damage comes out in rotations. But as you get those stacks stacking up here, those cooldowns get a little bit shorter here. You get to throw out more Event Horizons, more of those Dark Matters as well here. And hey, maybe if the game rolls long enough, if Hawks don't push fast enough, Recap could get more than one rotation out.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful though. Gonna put Kinatsu in the baby cage and just barely escape with his
Hachimecha?
life. Meanwhile, Hachimecha in a bit of a bad spot, was looking for some kind of flank, not gonna find it. But I know the God-sent child is in that bot lane, looking to keep pushing. There's no one there to stop him. Hachimecha just gonna look to buy some time. He kind of goes in.
No.
I'm just gonna say that he was trying to sacrifice, as Aino's gonna keep pushing in that bot lane. But it's looking to me like Hawks are just gonna pivot to go on over to this Baron actually now, with Hachimecha being down for another 25 seconds. There's no smite available, and they're shredding this thing like there's no tomorrow. Recap, we need you to do something here. Give us.
Can you steal?
You gotta do something. You gotta steal. Never mind. Away he goes, and that's gonna be a free Baron in the hands of the Hawks.
Yeah, just got yeeted right on out of there. And for Hachimecha, you can't be the one to sacrifice yourself to stall. Sure, stall for Aino. Great. Aino gets 2 turrets in that bot side here, and he gets the objective bounties. That's really, really good. But if your jungler's dead, there's just no threat on that Baron. Hawks get it for free, and it feels, again, like a bit of, okay, I'll give you an arm, and Hawks like, the Hawks will give you an arm, but they'll take your life for it, right? And sure, you got 2 turrets. They've now got Baron buff. And if Hawks can break an inhibitor on this particular Baron, it's very, very much so not worth for the side of Rascal Jesters. The other thing to keep in mind, too, is that bot side is now a hyper-extended lane. There are no outer turrets or no turrets outside bases for either of these teams. Aino can't safely push anymore. And now Kinatsu could just sit down there. Who's going to answer Kinatsu in the 1v1?
They still got some inhibitor turrets to chew through if they want to get to it, but just the amount of siege potential, the amount of poke potential that comes out. Look at that, just as I say it. Dasher, the Shurima soldiers, hitting them with the 1-2. The boys ever faithful as they take out Soul, and look at that. They just go for the turret too, get it down to half HP. Aino needs to be careful, taking a lot of damage as well. And now we're just seeing Dasher coming online 4-0-4. They've given him 24 minutes as well to scale up. And he's looking quite monstrous right now. The keeper's verdict not quite going to find Rika, what they were looking for, but the dredge line will. Blank is barely getting out of that one alive. Hachimecha. Oh my God, the boomerang blade still finds him. Meanwhile, Recap needs to be careful. Asking out in that baby cage. They look to stun him up, but they just don't have the damage to take him out. And there's that first inhibitor being cracked like you talked about. They're just going to go ahead and run on out as they grab themselves that.
Dragon is up for the Hawks as well. Rascal Jesters shouldn't be able to contest this when their entire base is in shambles right now. And Echo, I'm in shambles. Just thinking about Blank getting away from that 7 health. He got out with 7 health on this play right now. That is an absolute tilter. Blank, no fear. Diving turrets right now, tanking up these primordial bursts. And for recap, that's really unfortunate because we are not finding a kill with that ultimate. Your effectiveness as the Vigar is greatly reduced here. Your whole job is to kill somebody immediately, turn the fight to a 5v4. And even if you force somebody out, it's not enough, especially when you've already lost your AD carry here. So we're right back to it. 30 seconds still left on the Baron buff here, and the Hawks want to find at least one more turret on this push.
Yeah, you can just see how much just fear the Hawks have put into Rascal Jester, right? Rhina just, even though they probably don't know that he's roaming alone, right? He's just doing his thing, and they are terrified of him, having to back off. And they know that the moment they get hit by a dredge line, it's just death is going to follow, and death is following soon for this top tier 2. If they can't do something about it, they're trying their best, but Dasher just zoning them off so well. They can't step up, they can't contest, as it is going to go down. Kinatsu actually being taken incredibly low, though, does need to be careful. So they are going to back off.
Right now, Dasher's out damaging recap in this poke. We were looking at Kinatsu getting kind of low stuck in the turret, but Hachimecha just almost died to Sand Soldiers, right? And that's just poke that Dasher's putting down. And this time, Aino wasn't able to find anything. We talked about that hyper-extended bot lane here. Aino had to push all the way from his base down towards that bot side. So by the time he gets there, everything's done. The Hawks can siege up that top side uninhibited for such a long time here. And for Rascal Jesters, they couldn't find anything. Now, for Hawks, in order to continue the game pace, they can look to continue the split push right now. They sent Dasher down there because he's got the teleport. And for Rascal Jesters, they still don't have a good answer. The game plan is still the same. Try and find a pick somewhere. The split push is not very effective unless Aino is going to split push the top side. But as long as Burns an issue here, Aino can't split push the top side because all of the Hawks will be up there instead here. And now I need to see vision control come out from Rascal Jesters so they can look for that event horizon. And next time, if you ever see Rhino on his own, you need to pop him immediately, no hesitation.
Yeah, got to take him out. Got to make these fights even the slightest bit more in your favor. I know. Oof. Little hop, skipping, and jumping action there to escape the dredge line. That could have spelled disaster for him if he got hit, but he's good for now. And now is that time where we can really hope that Rascal Jester can make something happen, right? There's no objectives up for a good minute and a half, or that Baron is still going to be coming up, and the drag is still fairly far away. And so look at that, the Hawks, dude. They're just setting up. They're waiting. The moment Rascal Jester steps out of their base, they want to take them out. They've got that turret set up from Dasher as well, just making it even harder for Rascal Jester to even leave their base with any sort of confidence.
Yeah, and for the Hawks here, they're not looking to break anything else on this particular push. What they're trying to do is just get the pressure down. Baron's coming up in a minute. So if you can hold Rascal Justice near base, we talked about the vision, they can't establish any in their jungle. So they'll have to walk in blind effectively. Look at the trinkets on the side of Rascal Jesters. They don't have a single yellow trinket left. It's sweeper, 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 and 2 far sights. And they're going to rely on those 2 far sights to get the vision to actually walk into the jungle here. But those have fairly long cooldowns.
Yeah, do you see? I do want to point your attention to Zeri, right? Soul does have those 3 items, right? Does have those boots. So gonna be doing a lot of damage slowly but surely coming online. The question just is it going to be enough against just the Giga Fed team that is the Hawks at the moment? With Baron up in 20 seconds, they're looking for some kind of pick, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they just go ahead and just walk on over to Baron and force Rascal Jester to make a choice. Do they want to try to contest, try and make something happen? If they do, might not end well for them, and if they don't, it definitely won't end well for them. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Baron is live now, and they're still clearing these waves out for now. But there we go. We're seeing these pings coming out. Dasher already looking to get it started up. Blank on his way as well, and now Rascal Jester are put in a precarious position here. They have to make a choice. Do they look to try and do something here at this Baron?
Yep.
It's being shredded fast. I don't even know if they're gonna make it there in time. By the time they clear this ward, yeah, it's over.
No,
and Rascal Jesters, they know they can't contest even if they wanted to.
I think they were just slow to the move. Like, they were trying to push, and they probably thought, hey, we have a little bit more time. No, you don't. Because as you mentioned, Soul's 3 items, but Soul's Marble. Marble's 3 items plus stopwatch plus call, right? Like, he will do everything you do except potentially even faster here, especially with the ricochet, being a sort of an auto attack reset, the boomerang blade being able to add damage on both going out and coming in. It absolutely melted. That's not to mention Dasher as well. Dasher sat on 4 items, 5 items. I'm going to count Magi as a full item here because it effectively is. And I love whenever mages or whenever anybody builds some Magi, because that is a vote of confidence saying, hey, I don't think I'm going to die. Dasher's 4-0 and 5. And to be frank, so far, Dasher's not even been threatened in any of these fights. They're so busy dealing with Kanatsu, with Blank, and when they've got the spare bandwidth, they're going for Marble. They're not touching Dasher. So Dasher is incredibly fed right now. And I actually want to see the post-game damage later, because I'm curious if Dasher might actually be out damaging Marble right now, especially with the poke that he's been putting down pre-fights.
Yeah, Dasher's not being pressured because he's doing the pressuring, man, especially his soldiers. They hurt.
True,
They
yeah.
poke hard as this drag is up, and they are going to find themselves a lonely little recap here. I don't know if that was the move. Down he goes. Hachimecha going to go goal. It's not going to last long. Down he goes into the dirt. Aino running for his life. Reina chasing him down, trying to get him, trying to find that hook. He's, oh my God, he wants him so badly, dude. The flash, the hook lands, the stun lands, the boomerang blades are coming out, and Aino is going to eat the dirt too. The flash as well from Marble. Come on, just let the poor boy live. They grab themselves the drag as well. That's the soul. And RMC, it's not looking too good for Rascal Jesters here. 3 members down. They're not up for another 20 seconds. And the Hawks in full force are marching into the base. They grab themselves that first inhibitor. They're looking to get themselves this first turret as well. Secret gonna try his best to hold them off, but he gets hit by the dredge line, gets hit by the darkened blade, just barely making it into the base. Down goes the first Nexus turret. Second Nexus turret soon to follow in with that. Game 1 is all but decided, but they are going to actually maybe look to they're not sure yet. Maybe they want to pad out the KD a little bit here. The world ended game pop by Kanatsu. So much damage coming out from Dasher. Just end this slaughter, please. The minions will do it for us. And there we go. With that, RMC, game 1 will go into the hands of the Hawks.